Hello, Sebastian here from Twin Peaks. In this video, in the SidiFootprint Indicator, we're going to take a look at the finished and unfinished auctions function. I have activated this here once in the unfinished finished auctions section, and I would now like to display only the unfinished auctions here in display mode. I'll make this bigger for you. And here we can now see that we sometimes have blue values at the end of the bars, whereas others are black. First of all, what are unfinished auctions? This auction principle always means that we have sellers to buyers here, and if we are at the end of a movement, i.e. down here, we have 0 down here. 0 buyers. Simply means that there were no more counter positions here, so trading was completed down here. And that is also what the exchanges, i.e. CME, COMEX, ESOS, EOS, as they are all called, generally demand that all transactions must be completed. However, there are situations such as here, where we had here 25 sales and 10 purchases in this area. And since we do not have a 0, this is an unfinished auction. So here, trading was not yet finished, so to speak. And that is usually bad. The exchange does not want that. There is also internal information here that there may well be fees for traders who cause and do not close it again. That would go a bit too far here. It is important to know that unfinished options can occur both at the top and at the bottom. Now, first, the two variants in blue at the bottom. And here we also have some at the top. There is the 0 on the other side. So if we don't have a 0 here, then this is an unfinished auction, just like here. And then the whole thing has to be caught up again. We don't have any up here, so that's pretty good. And here we have unfinished auctions, and here we also have ANFIN, which can be seen as soon as we have a 0 here on the left. The whole thing is a finished auction and is no longer displayed. We now have the option here in the SidiFootprint Indicator to display either the unfinished options or the finished auctions. So now we see that the entire thing is colored here, and actually both in different colors if you prefer. Let's stick with the unfinished auctions for now. We can either have the text colored here, as it is currently, or we can have a marker set, again, a little more clearly, or actually both options. And it can always be exciting. I'll just hit markers now. If we move the entire thing smaller, and maybe even alter the text, you can no longer see, but only have the pure marker. So now, for example, we can no longer recognize that there was an unfinished auction, but can still view using the marker. This is always exciting if you are perhaps trading on somewhat larger time units and would rather use the whole thing as an overview. There are also various trading approaches, how to include finished and unfinished auctions in your trading. And we have just added this option here. And the check mark here at shore on current bar simply means at the moment when one bar is still forming here, I'll see if we have this here right now. I have a simulated data feed here at, and would now just have a quick look at to see that I'm getting the whole thing here. I've just deactivated. It would just mean that the whole thing is already forming in the current bar, so to speak. I'll activate this briefly for a moment. So I have now activated the replay function once, and now we can also see if we have this check mark here, then it is also shown live in the bar. As soon as we have an unfinished auction here, this is switched off. It is only ever displayed when we have closed the bar, i.e. just in a 5-minute period. So only after 5 minutes I would see is really a finished or unfinished auction here. Or I can see it live right away, whether something should actually happen down here. And then perhaps position myself here if I want to use it. So you see this variant with finish and in finished auction offers very, very many variants. To trade the whole thing, to work with it, and to include it in his everyday trading, especially in the area of footprint trading, order flow trading, are therefore, again, very flexible in all the configuration options. In the next video, we take a look at absorption and exhaustion prints. For many order flow traders, this is also a function that has been asked for very often and is therefore also included here in the SidiFootprint. See you soon.